a chance to stop and smell the roses?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, being able to be with my family after the game was pretty cool. Rewatched it with the fam a little bit and got to hang out with my kids and my wife, which was nice to take some moments there. But yeah, really happy for the team, for us, for all the guys involved. But now you're on to the next one.
Hey Liam, how much was your heart beating on the 4th and 1 early in the game with that call, and did it beat any faster when you watched it back?
No, I think it's funny because it was very eerily similar to Pittsburgh preseason 1, right? Where you're kind of in the similar situation, similar place on the field. I kind of asked the guys real quick, like, what do we think? And it was very clear from everybody on the headsets, like, it's a go zone. But yeah, I guess on your first drive calling plays as a head coach, it makes it a little bit more, but I think data and analytics would say it's a go. I would say very high percentage, but had confidence in the call that we had prepared for that moment, and the guys executed. It could have been a bigger play if we didn't trip, but I was pleased with the execution in that moment. Obviously, it didn't pay off with a touchdown on that drive, but it was still a scoring drive.
So there wasn't like a message. You weren't trying to send a message. That wasn't pre-planned in your head, like, hey,
No.
we're gonna.
No, we wanted to go into the game though being slightly aggressive with the 4th down mentality, and it's more like as we get to know each other, as we get to know this team, that's kind of that made the ebbs and flows of it. But to start there is where we wanted to start with a 4th down that we had been successful converting in the preseason in those moments. So it was really just carryover. Wasn't necessarily a message. It was more so like, hey, this has kind of been our mentality throughout the preseason and through training camp, was to try to be aggressive in some of those moments.
We have addressed that issue of toughness, and I know there were some big hits, not necessarily that, but the toughness in that situation you just talked about, the toughness in forcing turnovers on the 2 4th down situations in the 3rd quarter, by the defense at a period where the offense kind of went a little bit stagnant. In all phases, both sides of the ball, did you see the kind of toughness that you've been preaching that you wanted for these guys?
Yeah, it definitely showed up. It's nice to know a lot of the things that we've been preaching since we arrived did show up yesterday. And was it perfect by any means? No. But to start week 1 off physically the way we did, you can always, now it gives us a great opportunity with showing that, displaying that, getting the win. Now it allows us to continue to coach hard and to fix some of the issues that we had, clean up the details. But when you can start there and say, guys, look, if this is going to be part of our DNA, for it to show up in week 1 matters. It does matter, because a lot of the things that you're preaching did show up, whereas if it wouldn't have or didn't, it just becomes a little bit harder. The players are kind of like, well, really? Are we really going to listen to all this? And so it just helps with the team, with our whole buy-in of everything that we're trying to do. And we know to go win games in this league, where we would like to, be able to continue to go, we're going to have to be able to do that on both sides of the ball, really in all 3 phases.
How'd you make it out of the game health-wise?
Yeah, really good. Nobody
Anton?
that should, fine, just back spasm. So really nothing that should hold us this week. Came out pretty clean.
What was the decision on Mason?
Yeah, I think it came down to lack of reps and opportunities throughout the training camp. Did feel like we had some guys that have been able to reduce down a little bit with Smoot and Agba and Austin Johnson that have played a lot. I think it's just going to take, I'm not going to say how long, I don't know. We want to get him out there and want to get him going. It's a guy that we have confidence moving forward with, that we want to get into the fold. It was just a matter of, I don't want to say numbers, but with the lack of sample size that we had going into week 1, with having to try to create numbers for the active roster is kind of just how it played out. We fully expect him to continue to grow, continue to go in the right direction, and help us contribute.
It seems like Britton made a lot of key blocks. Just how important is he for everything that you guys do on offense?
Yeah, he played his tail off. I mean, he did. He was physical in the run game, was explosive when he had the ball in his hands, made a couple good catches, but his ability to be able to either, whether it's at the point of attack or slicing across the formation, he plays violently, and he helps set the tone for our offense to be able to go and run the football, whether you're going to run at the tight end or run away from the tight end. He's physical, and he finishes, he strains. Everybody sees it, and they all have kind of seen it all throughout, this whole training camp is his physicality and playing the game the right way. So was really pleased with the way that he performed on Sunday, and look to continue to build off that.
And then Hunter Long, first career touchdown. Just
Yeah.
how cool of a moment was that for him?
Yeah, it's great to be able to come in and, he gave us really quality snaps throughout the game, but also to, be at the right spot at the right time and catch a touchdown pass for him in his career is pretty cool.
Any operational glitches on the sideline? Not like when you're talking about getting the plays and stuff like that, but just the way things were going to work on the sideline from the headsets or anything now?
I thought it was pretty clean. I mean, from I think my mic cut out one time, a couple mic cutouts, but it wasn't anything where we were stuck in the wrong personnel groupings or substitution errors and miscommunications. Like, was it perfect? No, but I nothing that truly comes to mind that was like, man, we gotta fix this. This needs to get fixed, or else it's gonna cost us. Nothing like that occurred. I thought it was pretty clean from an operations standpoint.
How about Brian Thomas Jr.'s day? How do you kind of get him going in the passing game moving ahead? What stood out?
I think we tried to get him a touch on the first or second drive of the game. First play of the game, right? We don't convert it, throw him a screen, low, doesn't come down with it. And then the flow of the game, we missed him on a in-breaker, which he had a lot of room to run. Missed him on a corner route where he was fairly open. And then missed, had the one on the out of bounds. So you're talking about, that's 5 catches right there that gets him into the flow of it. It's just the way the game went, and we got details of route running, timing, depth, the quarterback, protection, everything goes into it. So I fully anticipate him being able to get going.
So how did you do against your fast standard, right, that you offered here in your first news conference, first game? How did it turn out? Were they what you wanted them to be?
Yeah, I would say so in a lot of ways. I mean, we just gave out a bunch of T-shirts that had players of the game that represented those things. So fundamentally sound, attacking, situational masters, tough. We, after each game, we have the game balls, but then we also give out some of those shirts of guys that represented our style of play the right way. So we are continuing to kind of magnify that and make sure that that gets emphasized week to week. I think if you look at being fundamentally sound, I mean, there was definitely things fundamentally that we can fix, but I did think overall was sharp. Attacking, you look at doing it the right way, attacking in both the run and the pass, and then defensively getting their hands on the ball, situationally before the half, being able to handle that, get points. That was a big time. And then obviously in the 2-minute at the end of the game, you get the interception and kneel on it. So, and I don't think there was any question that we were tough. So yeah, absolutely think it showed up.
Sorry. What did Anthony tell you about, or after the first game, first time calling plays as defensive coordinator? Was he relieved? I mean, what was he like?
Yeah, I actually reached out to him after the game and just kind of let him know I was pleased with the way that he called it. I was pleased with the way that they were prepared. I think they were prepared. They played hard, and he had some timely, pressure calls, and especially against the run, that gave us some opportunities to knock them back. And there's calls you want back. There's multiple calls we always want back. Those are the ones that kind of haunt you, even after wins. But I think he called it well, for his first time doing it in a live game. I thought he was calm. The calls were coming in. guys were under control, communicated. It wasn't perfect, but I was pleased with him, and I think he can take some confidence from this and continue to go forward.
Was
your
the
assessment
off-target Trevor stuff? Does it go back to something? Was it footwork?
Yeah, there was some footwork things. You know, there was a couple on the missed targeted throws that, you know, if you look at, he's 19 to 31. We missed 3 screens on Omaha to Diami on the right sideline. And then you talk about the one to BT, it's like a few of those, and he's 25 at 31 for 200 plus. And now you're talking, it's not about the stats, it's about the balance. You know, it's about the balance. And so if you're sitting there saying he could have been 25 at 31 for 200 plus, and you try to eliminate the turnover, you're sitting there saying he had a damn good game. So what's nice is that I thought he operated the offense really well. I thought he had great command. He used his cadence. We got the free play response. There were some really good things that did show up. I thought in the middle, I thought he was very accurate on some of the curls and stop routes, and he ran twice for 2 big first downs, which was critical for us. So, you know, some things to build off of, but we're still, you know, continuing to coach and work on the footwork and mechanics, and those they're definitely fixable.
What was your assessment of the pass protection yesterday for your team?
I thought it was very good. You know, to go in the game as the OL and backs and say we ran for 200 and did not allow a sack, I think that's positive to be able to build off of. You know, we definitely were trying in the mindset of get the ball moving, get it spitting, kind of keep things going, not really hold on to it in week 1, early in the game. So we probably didn't push the ball down the field as much as maybe we would like. But, you know, I was pleased with those guys up front. The communication, guys being on the right people, running, you know, Quinn Allen's pickup, you know, before the half on the dagger that we caught to Diami was a great pickup on a corner blitz. I thought they did a nice job in protection. They were trying to get, you know, Hainsey, those guys trying to get extra hits in there and cleaning up the pocket. I thought they did a nice job.
And when it comes to the penalties on the offensive line, was that stuff that's fixable, you feel like? Or?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you look at, you had 1 pre-snap, you had 1 delay game and a pre-snap. So it wasn't as if it was a ton of sloppy, undisciplined stuff. It was 2nd and 3rd level reactions that were either, you know, not moving our feet, not in the proper body position, our hands are outside, you know, some of those things that when you get the bullets flying in a live game rep, you start reaching for straws a little bit instead of moving your feet and playing underneath yourself, and that's definitely what occurred. I mean, we all know holding can be called on any play. And, you know, for us to have 11 and then 4 is, you know, obviously a little bit of a difference there. So, you know, hopefully we can clean up some of those things and be able to eliminate those 2nd and 20s that we have to kind of overcome, because those are going to become really difficult to overcome as you continue to move forward.
Was that a little uncharacteristic of Cam with the kickoffs?
Yeah, you know, a little bit. It was definitely, you know, a little frustrating for sure, I think, for himself. You know, like he was frustrated with himself. Don't have to really necessarily say anything to him about it. It was more, you know, we addressed it. He was up here early with Heath, just expressing that frustration that he wants to really work a little bit more tirelessly on that throughout the week and figure out exactly what was going on with some of those things. I fully anticipate him being able to get that thing squared away. I was proud of the way he kicked the ball through the uprights, obviously, even though I hate kicking field goals. But yeah, we'll get that cleaned up. I was, you know, he was up here early this morning, one of the first guys in the building.
Coach, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.